Hi everyone, welcome. Welcome to La Lobita. This is a full moon reading for the month of May. If you're getting this message in May or if you're getting it at a later time, just know that these readings are definitely timeless. They are messages sent to find you at the time that you most need it. But if you're joining us, if you're subscribed, this message is now for you. And can be applicable to the upcoming full moon on Wednesday. If you're in the US, if you're in Arizona, it'd be Wednesday. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Before I get into it, as I was shuffling, I was getting some messages right off the bat. And it makes sense with the spread that, a lot of folks right now are in their heads. So Spirit is definitely trying to give you signs through synchronicities, through patterns, through repetition, right? Maybe it's someone repeating a name or a phrase over and over. It can be pictures, colors, just pay attention. My mom has this saying she would say is mucho ojo. She would grow up telling me mucho ojo, like pay attention. Look at it closely. Shout out to FGW. Look at it closely. Look at every situation. Look at your surroundings and give it a close eye. Because when you're not paying attention, you are missing the signs. And so that's what Spirit wants you to know. When you are not paying attention, you are missing the signs. And, they're showing me synchronicities, whether it's numbers 333, right? 1313, right? Specific numbers that matter. They're either repeated numbers, your birth date, or specific numbers, right? These are all relevant and significant to whatever is happening. They're trying to get your attention. A lot of folks, you might be seeing 1111. That's the initial wake-up call, But anyways, you want to make sure to look at it closely. Get out of your heads and pay attention to what is in front of you. That's all that matters, and that's all that you can control. And so I'm speaking firmly now because this is a guided message. This is what they're telling you to do. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Damn, okay. So, the ancestors definitely want to talk. And they're being they're being very firm. Your guides, your ancestors, they're being very firm because you're not paying attention. Oh, now I'm regañando. You're not paying attention, and so they're telling you, get out of your head and look at it closely. Okay? Telling me to tell you, the answers are everywhere, which we'll get to that when we get to the Four of Cups. But let's jump into it. So, and they're starting off this message right now with paying attention because you have the Four of Swords. This is rest. This is a time for you need to rest. Do you see for folks watching? This it's this man. He has a suit of armor, but he's resting, right? Which for a lot of folks in the Rancho Collective, we do a lot of social justice, we do a lot of educational work. You're fighting out there. Whatever you're doing, just know he's wearing the suit of armor. You are fighting, right? But as you're seeing here, he's resting, right? For some, it might even be a death. And I'm not talking about like a physical, actual death. It could be a death of a situation. But we're starting with the Four of Swords here, which is a need for rest. There is a need for rest. And right below it, we got the masculine energy, right? Which oftentimes with masculine energy, it's a forceful action. So what I'm picking up here is whatever situation that has you in your head, it's something beyond your control. And what Spirit's saying is you need to rest. You need to lay it down. Or for some of you, it's dead, right? But this masculine energy of continuing to push a situation, to continue to try, to continue to fight, to continue to, break your own boundaries, it needs to stop. You need to rest. You need to take some time. And we say this, you see, the ancestors are really firm today. You see this because we have the Four of Cups. For those of you waiting for information, those of you waiting for a sign, for those of you waiting for an idea, perhaps, right? You're not going to be able to listen, to receive, if you're everywhere, if you're in your head, if you're tired, if you haven't given time to yourself, right? The ideas, we all know, they come when you're rested. They come when you are not even, ready with a notepad and you're getting this information, right? So they're saying you need a rest. You need a rest. Underneath, we have the growth card. And, Spirit is saying this has been a time of stretching, of growing, right? We only learn as people, we only grow as people when we are stretched, when we go through difficult situations, where we go through, I'm not trying to romanticize stressful situations, right? When we go through the heartache, where we go through the testing, that is which requires us to fight and be in our masculine energy, right? So we're getting here, that affirmation that it's been a very strenuous time. It is a very strenuous time, but focus, also take time with this rest to reflect on your growth, right? What are the skills, the new tools you have? How are you walking and moving differently, right? And this only happens when you rest, when you take that time, when you reflect. Spirit's pointing me right now to confidence. A lot of y'all right now may be struggling with confidence, right? Taking the next steps. And this is why, you're needing to rest. You need to take time and reflect on your growth. You need to work on that. Take time, and rather than fighting from pushing, forcing, feed into your confidence. All right. That was probably specific because I just was hearing confidence, and once I said it, it's gone. Now we have the 8 of Swords. So again, y'all are really fixated in either trying to find a solution, trying to understand, trying to rationalize something, because the 8 of Swords is just thoughts. It's thinking. It's over, it's over strategizing, overthinking, almost creating a nightmare out of the limitations, out of the scenarios they've built in their head. For those of you watching, or not watching, right? You see this person. They have a blindfold on. They are tied in a rope, right? The swords are all around them. They can't even move. And that's what the 8 of Swords represents. You are so, folks are so in their heads, making their own prison, right? Overstretching, over pushing, overworking, and not seeing the results, and then being hard on themselves, right? And that's why Spirit's telling you to take that time to work on that confidence, because these unreal scenarios you're creating in your head are causing a lack of confidence, right? A lack of value in yourself. You're not, okay, that's what I'm hearing, is valuable. A lot of y'all don't even feel valuable right now. This might be specific messages. Yeah, and you got the emotional release, right? In order to get out of these limitations, these limiting thoughts, we also got to go through it. We got to feel it out. We got to journal it. I'm going to make a plug for my journal workshop. I'm hosting a free workshop, y'all. Free $99. And I'll talk more about that in a bit. But you could journal it. You could cry it out. You could scream it out. But you got to release it. You got to reflect. You got to ask yourself, how have I grown? Where are my new skills? What am I better at? What am I stronger at? And release the old, release the baggage. We had that last month at the last full moon reading. So, because it looks like y'all are really frightening yourselves. A lot of anxiety, a lot of tears. Folks are really beating themselves up right now. And I pulled another clarifying, and we got discernment. So again, folks, journal, reflect, think about, are my thoughts, are my limitations, are these limiting thoughts, are these negative thoughts in agreement? Are they matching? Or are they helping me, or are they hurting me? Because a lot of times that's what the masculine is, you know, it's the pusher, but it's also the critical, right? The wounded masculine, hypercritical, hyper ego, right? I gotta keep fighting, I gotta keep working, right? I gotta keep pushing, but also beats itself up when it doesn't meet where it doesn't think it's winning. It doesn't, you know, it has it defeated. And then we got the Death card. So again, this is a lot to do with thoughts, y'all. This started with thoughts, it's ending with thoughts. What thoughts have to die? What old beliefs need to die? Because we got the past, present, and the future, right? I was just talking to someone, for folks who are in Phoenix, you know this, I'm at the Nurture House, and I share space with a lot of cool spaces, right? And I always say Nurture House, aka Palabras Bookstore, because a lot of folks, that's how folks know it. But you know, I was just there with the folks from Nurture House, and you know, I was telling them about past, present, and future, and I was telling them how, you know, they were talking about a show, and I just said that's so true, and I could talk to you about this in a different way, because when we're doing the work, when we're doing the shadow work, where we're getting rid of old thoughts, what we're also doing is we're nurturing and we're tending to our past, you know, through this present moment, through these present actions. You know, we are helping nurture and heal the past, but also setting ourselves up for the future. But we can only go so far as our thoughts. We can only go so far as the love that we give ourselves, and that love also includes resting. It includes, you know, appreciating yourself. And so yeah, they really say practice discernment, right? But we got to work on that releasing, right? Releasing these old thoughts. The way we actually get rid of old core beliefs and let them die is by grieving them. So there's one more thing coming in, y'all. It's jumped out like 3 times, and it's anger. So the spirit wants y'all to also be mindful. Pay attention to your anger. Pay attention to your emotions, right? Again, with the masculine, anger is one of the ways that the masculines express themselves, are able to show emotion, right? Sometimes that's the only emotion that's allowed, right? And spirits making note that the collective keep an eye on their anger issues, lashing out, right? The card underneath that was healing energy. It's time to allow the healing energy to come in.